I'm Heather Tyulyandin, and I'm the North Dakota District 16 Dem NPL candidate for the state Senate. So District 16 is the southern portion of West Fargo from I-94 down to 40th. And then we also have a little cutout kind of just above the I-94 corridor. And I am actually a recent graduate of North Dakota State University. I just finished my master's in May in higher education administration, and I also hold a bachelor's in political science and human development and family science. So I previously served as a student senator on NDSU's student government, and then the next year after doing that, I was the Executive Commissioner of Academic and Student Affairs. It's a very fancy and long title to just say that I was the voice of the students for a lot of different committees and councils. And I spent a lot of time in both of those positions advocating for things that students were bringing to me that they saw as needs on campus, and then also just asking those kind of harder questions to different faculty or staff members or even upper level administration of, why do we do things the way we do them, and how could we communicate to students the why, because sometimes having the why for them helps them better accept what's happening, or at least understand and be able to communicate their frustrations. And then I also was a title holder, or pageant queen, if you will, within the Miss America organization at the very local level. So within that role, you get to pick a project that you want to work on, and I chose food insecurity. So I went to different elementary schools and read books about what that looks like and how we can help our friends or ourselves if we're experiencing that. And then I also testified on 5 different bills that came in front of the last legislative session, a couple of which actually did pass and make it into law, and a few which were unfortunately turned down, but we have hope that we can bring them back again. And I also met with all of the area food pantries and just talked to them about their needs and the clientele that they were serving and what they saw as being important issues in the community. And I'd love to continue doing that kind of work because that's a big pet project of mine. But I have a lot of experience advocating for people in need who maybe don't feel like their voice has been heard, and I'm not afraid to be that voice. So my top 3 issues are food insecurity. Like I said, that's been a passion project of mine since I was 16 years old. And another one is the workforce, and that kind of has a lot of pieces within it, and I'll explain in a second. And then the third kind of big piece for me is education. So I have a degree in higher education administration. It's a student affairs degree for people who work on campuses, and that's kind of what I'd like to do long term. But for me, public education is so important because our education is the basis of how we interact with the world. It's how we are able to grow, how we're able to communicate with others, build connections, and it's also how we decide what we're capable of in life, whether we feel we're good at math or science or the arts. So I really believe that we need to make sure that we're taking care of our education system. And then as far as the workforce is concerned, for me it's multifaceted. We need to make sure that we're encouraging and investing in our trade and vocation programs. And then we also need to make sure that our workers are safe and protected when they're on the job. We need to make sure that they have access to affordable, quality childcare, and that they have access to safe and affordable housing. If you can't get a job because you don't have a house, you can't continue to work, you can't save money, you can't do all these other things. So for me, those are kind of my top priorities.